Hold up, Browns Nation. And I mean stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to tell you is going to completely flip your understanding of what Kevin Stefanski and this front office are actually building in Cleveland. While everyone's been obsessing over the flashy headlines and the big-name signings, the Browns just made a chess move so subtle, so strategically brilliant, that most people are going to miss it entirely. But you're not most people, are you? See, yesterday the Browns quietly signed a guy named Bucky Williams. And before you roll your eyes and think this is just another practice squad filler story, let me paint you a picture why this move is absolutely genius. This isn't about Bucky Williams, the player. This is about Bucky Williams, the philosophy, and it reveals everything about how this organization is thinking 3 steps ahead of everyone else in the AFC North. But first, let's talk about what actually happened, because the surface story is already interesting enough. The Browns waived Brady Latham, a guy who's been struggling to make that transition from guard to center, fighting for snaps behind Ethan Pocic and Luke Whippler. Classic developmental story, right? Young player trying to find his position. Team moves on. Standard NFL Tuesday. Except it's not, because who they replaced him with tells us everything. Bucky Williams spent his entire rookie season on injured reserve with the Chargers. Didn't play a single snap. Most teams would look at that and see damaged goods, a risk not worth taking. But Cleveland? Cleveland sees something completely different. They see a versatile offensive lineman who can play both guard and center. Exactly the kind of Swiss Army knife depth piece that championship teams are built on. And here's where it gets really interesting. This move isn't happening in a vacuum. Think about the context. We're watching the Bengals mortgage their future for win-now moves. The Ravens are doubling down on Lamar Jackson's prime years. The Steelers are scrambling to find an identity in the post-Ben era. And Cleveland? Cleveland is playing a completely different game. While everyone else is making headlines, the Browns are building something sustainable, something deeper. Because here's what most people don't understand about championship football. It's not the starters that win you Super Bowls. It's what happens when those starters get hurt. It's having that 7th, 8th, 9th guy on offensive line who can step in during Week 14 when injuries start piling up and not miss a beat. Look at every recent Super Bowl winner, and I guarantee you'll find stories about unheralded depth players who became crucial in January and February. The Browns front office knows this. Stefanski knows this. And that's why the Bucky Williams signing is so much bigger than just filling a roster spot. But let's dig deeper into Williams himself, because his story is actually fascinating. This guy was grinding at a smaller program, went undrafted, signed with the Chargers, and then immediately got hit with an injury that cost him his entire rookie year. That's the kind of adversity that breaks most players. The kind of setback that makes you question whether you really belong at this level. Yet here he is, getting another opportunity, and Cleveland is betting on his resilience. You know what that tells me? It tells me the Brown scouts and coaches see something in his film, in his character, in his work ethic that goes beyond just physical ability. Because let's be real. If you're signing a guy who misses entire rookie season, you're not doing it for his highlight reel. You're doing it because you believe in his process, his mentality, his ability to bounce back from adversity. And that's exactly the kind of player who fits the Cleveland culture that Stefanski and Andrew Berry have been building. This isn't about collecting the most talented players. This is about collecting the right players. Guys who understand that success in the NFL is about preparation, adaptability, and mental toughness more than pure athleticism. Now, let's talk about what this means for Brady Latham, because his story matters too. This kid has been grinding, trying to make that guard-to-center transition, which is never easy. The timing, the communication, the completely different skill set required. It's like asking a shortstop to become a catcher. Some guys can do it, others can't. And sometimes it's not about talent. It's about fit. The Browns gave Latham every opportunity. He was getting third-team reps, working with the coaches, trying to figure it out. But in the NFL, patience has limits, especially when you're a team with legitimate Super Bowl aspirations. Sometimes the most respectful thing you can do for a player is be honest about where they stand and give them a chance to find the right fit somewhere else. But here's what really gets me excited about this move. It shows the Browns are thinking like champions. They're not settling for good enough anywhere on the roster, even at backup center, even at the positions that casual fans don't pay attention to. They want excellence. They want players who can contribute immediately if called upon. And that mentality, that attention to detail, that refusal to leave any stone unturned, that's championship DNA. That's how you build a team that doesn't just make the playoffs, but makes noise once you get there. Think about it this way. How many times have we seen promising seasons derailed by injuries to seemingly insignificant positions? How many times have we watched teams fall apart because their depth wasn't ready for prime time? The Browns are systematically eliminating those vulnerabilities, one signing at a time. And if you're loving this deep dive into the strategic thinking behind Browns moves, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to Browns Breakout, because we're going to keep breaking down every move, every decision, every angle that other channels are missing. We're not here for the surface level takes. We're here to understand what's really happening in Berea. But back to Williams. What makes this signing even more intriguing is the timing. Training camp is where reputations get made and careers get defined. Williams is walking into a situation where he has nothing to lose and everything to prove. That's a dangerous combination. That's the kind of motivation that creates those surprise camp standout stories we love hearing about. And let's not forget, Stefanski and this coaching staff have shown repeatedly that they can develop talent. Look at what they've done with players who came from other organizations. Players who were written off elsewhere but found new life in Cleveland. There's something about the culture, the system, the way they prepare players that brings out the best in guys who fit their mold. Williams has the versatility they love, guard or center. He has the adversity story they respect, bouncing back from injury. And now he has the opportunity they provide, a legitimate chance to earn a role on a contending team. All the ingredients are there for this to become one of those feel-good stories that becomes crucial down the stretch. Now, I know some of you are thinking this is a lot of analysis for a depth signing, but that's exactly my point. Championship teams are built on these decisions. While other franchises are reactive, making desperate moves when problems arise, Cleveland is being proactive. They're solving problems before they become problems. And that's the difference between organizations that consistently compete and organizations that consistently disappoint. The Browns have learned from their past. They've studied what works, what doesn't, and they're applying those lessons systematically across every level of the roster. So when I see the Bucky Williams signing, I don't just see a backup center. I see a franchise that understands what it takes to win in January. I see a front office that's thinking championship thoughts and making championship decisions. And honestly, that gets me more excited than any flashy free agent signing could. Because flashy free agents win you headlines. But depth signings like this, smart, strategic moves that strengthen your foundation, those win you championships. And after everything the city has been through, after all the heartbreak and disappointment, don't we deserve a franchise that's finally thinking like champions? The answer is absolutely yes. And moves like this prove we finally have one. So Browns Nation, that's your deep dive into why the Bucky Williams signing matters way more than the headlines suggest. Keep your eyes on this guy during camp. Keep your eyes on how the Browns continue building this thing. Because something special is happening in Cleveland, and we're going to break down every piece of it right here. What do you think? Are you buying into the vision? Do you see what I see in moves like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. And I'll see you in the next one where we'll dive even deeper into what's really happening with your Cleveland Browns.